Hail drink tankers, welcome! This is Spicy Reds. When there's a nip in the air, don't reach for your scarf and boots, reach for a dose of red heat. Some grape varieties are spicy enough to warm the nose off a polar bear and melt a snowman with a single sip. Let's hot it up! So where does spice in a red wine come from? Well, it can come from one of two places. Either the grape variety itself, such as Shiraz, which has a nice peppery character to it, or it could come from oak barrels, which the wine goes into to be aged. That can sometimes give a toasty, spicy edge to the vino, well worth looking out for. The Grenache grape is a great place to begin your quest for spicy reds. It's not too full on, it has an aroma of white pepper, but when you sip it, it's more of a cherryish, strawberryish variety, full of flavour, not too much colour, but a fantastic match that's not too chunky. You can find it in Australia, you can find it in France, you can even find it in Spain, where instead of Grenache, they call it Garnacha, and actually it goes into Rioja, which is a place, as one of their blending grapes. Wines from Rioja, get in there! Another place to look for a spicy red, and it's a little bit unlikely, is Germany. Think about Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a grape variety that on its own is quite elegant, it's quite feminine. But in Germany, Spätburgunder, as they call it, I love that. It's not Pinot Noir, we'll have a glass of Spätburgunder. It gets a spicy character, gets more of a heft to it. It's like somebody's literally ground a little bit of spicy dazzle right into the glass, and it's fantastic with a dose of peppered duck. Spice-tastic. If you want to amp the spice up in your red a touch, you could look to two further places, South Africa and Argentina. South Africa specialises in a grape variety called Pinotage. Pinotage is a grape that's a cross between Pinot Noir and Sanso. Now, together those grapes come together in a really unique wine. It smells, bear with me, a little bit like bananas, but it tastes a whole lot more spicy. Now, some people really hate the stuff, some people really love it. It tends to divide people. Personally, if it's quite an elegant style of Pinotage, I think it can be great, and it can be absolutely fantastic with roast meats. Another place to look for if you're thinking about meats is Argentina. They know how to make a beefsteak out there, let me tell you. I've ridden with the cowboys, those gauchos eat well. Malbec is the grape variety to look for from Argentina. The headline goes up, "Meat with Malbec." That was a campaign that Wines of Argentina ran, and I think it's a successful idea. Meat and Malbec are a great combination, especially if it's barbecued meat, or asado, as the Argentinians call it. Beef hoof. Finally, if you really want to bold it up and have a huge dose of Brian Blessed fisting your glass with spice, there's only two grape varieties that I would recommend. Carmenere from Chile and Shiraz. Shiraz-a-mataz. Carmenere is a grape variety that's risen to fame in Chile. Now, there's a bit of a story behind Carmenere, because originally the Chileans thought they planted their entire country with soft, plummy Merlot, a delicious grape variety. However, they hadn't. They'd planted Carmenere by mistake, and I'm delighted that they did, because it's not really very widely known outside of Chile, and it's a speciality that deserves our attention. Peppery, it's got a wonderful richness to it, super depth and intensity. It's a bonanza with a meaty Sunday-licious roast. However, the ultimate of spicy wines has got to be Shiraz. Now, Shiraz is a fantastic grape variety, which is a little confusing because it's also known as Syrah. Now, there is a difference. Shiraz tends to be big, bold and fruity and comes from hot places like Australia, South Africa. Syrah tends to be more elegant and comes from places that are cooler in climate, like France. You might even find some from New Zealand. Whichever one you go for, it's a slightly different emphasis. One of them, Shiraz, has been working out at the gym. Syrah is gonna run the marathon, lean and long. Now, Shiraz, Syrah both have one thing in common. Tends to be a little bit spicy. If you like a kick of spice in your wine, Shiraz is the sultan of spice. Cheers! Drink tank policies. If you're looking for mild spice in your wine, think about the grape variety Grenache. If you're looking for a middling dose of spice, Pinotage from South Africa, or Malbec from Argentina. For a massive fist of ironclad spice in your glass of roasting red, look for Carmenere from Chile or Shiraz from the globe!